Well, welcome into another episode of Universe Mode on the JPG channel, as we are joined by the Second City Saint, the WWE Champion CM Punk, who has to be in one hell of a mood after the way that last week's show ended. Of course, I'm referring to the arrival or the re-arrival of the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. Punk already had his hands full last week in the main event, taking on an open challenge with the returning Kevin Owens, who we'll see later tonight in action in our main event against Drew McIntyre, as a matter of fact. But needless to say, Punk would be able to withstand the returning KO in what was an absolute clash for the ages to start 2026 off. But it would be, like I said, the attack, the assault from Samoa Joe, a man we haven't seen in WWE in quite some time, that would really make the big headlines of last week's show. And this week, CM Punk, he's not going to be left with any questions. He wants answers from Samoa Joe to start the show. And he might not even leave the ring until he gets them, or until he gets his hands on Samoa Joe. Because some tells me CM Punk doesn't want to do a whole hell of a lot of talking. He wants to do a little bit more talking with his fists than with his actual mouth. But we're going to see what he has to say right now, folks. Oh boy. Well, Punk wanted it, and here he comes, the Samoan submission machine. Everybody just felt goosebumps coming down their neck. The arena just fell to a silence now that Joe is here. What has he got to say to Punk? And oh my God, wait a minute. Just Samoa Joe with another cheap shot against CM Punk. And Punk is retaliating this time. Just struck him in the face with that microphone. I don't know how Punk is even standing right now. Goes for a double axe, I believe. But Samoa Joe actually getting the best of him with a super kick right into a senton. You know, Joe proving Punk wrong. His arms weren't short enough to reach around and smack him with that microphone in the face. Joe sending Punk to the floor now. This is getting a little hostile, folks. We need to get some security out here. These two will tear each other apart all night if they have to. These are not two men that you want to just let freely just create all this car crash animosity between each other. Now look at this. Samoa Joe has Punk up for a powerbomb. No. Oh, a powerbomb around the barricade. My God, Joe just laid out the WWE Champion with a powerbomb on the barricade. I mean, that was one of the most heinous things I've ever seen in my entire professional career, folks. CM Punk, I mean, obviously he's not no 20-year-old indie wrestler anymore. Punk is well into his 40s, and while he's at the top of his game, he is WWE Champion. His body cannot take physicality like that. I mean, Samoa Joe just powerbombed him almost spine first right on that barricade. And we are told that Punk is being looked at in the back by our medical team. We're going to have to get a further update for Punk later on tonight. And man, I'm concerned about what we're going to find out. But either way, we're moving on because the women's championship, or excuse me, the women's champion, Io Sky, is fixing to be in action against this woman right here. The superstar that glows all across the universe in Naomi. Naomi looking to start her 2026 off with a big win over the current women's champion, Io Sky, a woman that had a hell of a 2025, looking to continue her success into the new year. Io Sky becoming champion back at WrestlePalooza after her second match against the former champion Stephanie Vaquer. Those two women are pretty much neck and neck, tied at one apiece. One would have to believe that, somewhere down the line we'll get that rubber match. Somewhere down the line we got to get Io Sky and Vaquer one more time. And I'd be down for it, that's for sure. But needless to say, Io Sky has been a welcoming champion, has been a defending champion. More recently defending that title against Sasha Banks at Saturday night's main event when unforeseen circumstances would arrive in the form of Blake Monroe costing Sasha Banks the match. We saw last week just how Sasha Banks handled that situation. Blake Monroe, although losing to Sasha Banks, perhaps a career-making performance against the Boss last week to start her 2026 year off. As now Naomi looks to have similar success here tonight against Io Sky. Although Io Sky she's at the top of her game right now. Be easier said than done to get one over on the women's champion. Beautiful back suplex by Naomi, though. Already starting off pretty strong. Goes off the ropes. Goes for a springboard drop kick. Io Sky averting it. And now sending Naomi off the ropes. Io Sky now. Look out. Oh, these two women crashing into one another. Perhaps Naomi was coming off the ropes a little too quick for even Io Sky to telegraph, and that's certainly saying something. As now Naomi and Io Sky still kind of trying to feel each other out here. As now Io again sending Naomi off the ropes, this time determined to get it right. German suplex by Io Sky. And Naomi just took a hard fall on nearly the back of her neck, as now Io Sky goes off the ropes, but Naomi looks to tie up with her and send Io Sky to the floor. Now snapmare from Naomi rolls through into like a soccer ball kick just right to the face. Nothing pretty about it, but certainly effective. As now Naomi again locking up with Io Sky. Now it's Io who gets the better of Naomi, sending Naomi into the turnbuckle, and that's how quickly Io Sky can turn the heat up in this match with a cartwheel, elbow to the face, and a big uppercut. And now a big kick to the arm of Naomi. Io Sky driving some forearm strikes right to the jaw of Naomi. Big kick to the midsection. And an uppercut. And look at this. Full head of steam with a shotgun drop kick into the corner. Io now going for the cover. Only gets a 1 count. And look at this. Fireman's carry by Io Sky, showing off the strength as the women's champion. Right into an air raid siren. Again, only a 1 count though. Naomi able to survive momentarily in this match, but needs to get something going for herself, because when Io Sky gets in this zone, when she gets in these moments, it's really hard to knock her down from it. As now Io calling Naomi up to her feet. Oh, I thought she was going to go for a suicide dive, but wait a minute. Comes right back around. Oh, might have got a little too overzealous that time. Sky was trying to pick up some serious speed to just, launch herself like a cannon at Naomi, but paid for it. As now Naomi sending Io Sky into the steel steps. And now Naomi getting a breather, much needed breather after everything Io Sky's thrown at her in the early goings. As Io now taking her time. Naomi Gonna meet her on the outside, though. Look out. Oh, my God. A running jawbreaker by Naomi. Certainly innovative. And now just working on the leg is Naomi on the outside. Needs to get Sky back into the ring, though, but Sky obliges on staying outside the ring. Apparently is now hit a Hurricane Rana. Io Sky this time did not get the suicide dive a few moments ago. Looking for it again. Hits it flush. Io Sky connecting big time with that suicide dive this time. Referee still trying to make sure these two ladies get back in the ring. Io Sky, though, might have other plans in mind here, as now Naomi could be in for some trouble. Io, look out, going off the ropes with a springboard moonsault. My God. A springboard moonsault connects, and now Io Sky breaking the count. Io now sending Naomi back into the ring. What else does Io have in store for Naomi? Is now Naomi getting back up to her feet slowly but surely, getting knocked right back down with a springboard drop kick. What a plethora of aerial offense we just seen from Io Sky. Suicide dive, diving moonsault, and then a springboard drop kick. Deliver the knees to the midsection to go for the cover, but Naomi able to escape. There's now Naomi. Look out, bouncing back with the rear end. And that is certainly a game changer right there, but Io Sky able to kick out. Look out, rolls through into a mushroom stomp. Stomping out the chest of Naomi, and not done there just yet. Picks her up for a deadlift German suplex and goes for the bridge cover, but Naomi gets the shoulder out again. There has been some pinfalls attempts made here. They could have gotten the job done, but Naomi is showing off a little bit of that resiliency by kicking out of the impressive offense of Io Sky. As now Sky shifts her focus to Naomi's knee, it looks like, as Io Sky, look out here, gonna make Naomi think about a delayed butterfly backbreaker maneuver. Goes for the cover in the center of the ring. Naomi again getting the shoulder out, but Io Sky not wasting a moment with them bullet train knees. And now Io Sky delivering the double axe handle to the face of Naomi. Io sending Naomi back into the corner. What does Io Sky have in store for Naomi on the top rope? Look out here. Going for an arm drag off the top. My gosh, she just cleared almost half the ring, setting her with an arm drag, but Naomi still getting that shoulder out. Maybe a bit of frustration on the champ's end, because, I mean, you just see what she just did. An arm drag off the top rope, and it still wasn't enough. Now Naomi's trying to come back with the Rings of Saturn. The Rings of Saturn is cinched in on Io Sky. Her arms are trapped. Her legs are nowhere away from the ring, or excuse me, the rope. This is a perfect positioning to get a tap out here, but Io Sky able to find some form of reversal with the knee strikes to the face, and now right into a Koji clutch. Io Sky going bar for bar here tonight. Naomi hit her with the Rings of Saturn. Io Sky came right back with the Koji clutch. And now Naomi able to escape, though. Thought momentarily that Io Sky might be able to get the submission victory over Naomi, but now, what is this? Naomi's calling Sky up to her feet. My God, what a crossbody. A crossbody from the top rope to the outside. Absolutely insane. Goes for another rear end. Io Sky getting a reversal. And now look at this kick combination by Naomi on the outside. That last roundhouse kick stuns Sky. And look out, though. Io Sky, though, we thought she was stunned, but maybe playing a little possum there with the head scissors. Now Io Sky sending Naomi to the floor. And wait a minute. The genius of the Sky. Talk about Naomi going bar for bar. Now now Io Sky's doing the exact same. She's going to go to the top rope and deliver, oh my God, a DDT off the top rope to the outside. When can you ever say you've seen that? A DDT off the top rope. Naomi is on Dream Street. Rightfully so, as a matter of fact. Now Io Sky, if you ask me, she has the opportunity to end it all right here, but Naomi able to somehow get a reversal there. But Io, one way or another, is going to try and get Naomi back in the position that she wants, and that's the exact same corner that she just flew off of from an arm drag scenario. Is now Io Sky taking to the skies with Naomi with her for a Spanish fly off the top rope. And Io Sky still doesn't even feel like that's enough, so I guess to seal it with a kiss, so to speak, Io is now going to the top rope, and I'm assuming going to set up for the over the moonsault. Over the moonsault connects to Naomi, women's champion, with a big victory here tonight. Wow, what a performance from both of these ladies, as a matter of fact. But at the end of the day, Io Sky proving exactly why she is the reigning champion of this division. Heading into the Royal Rumble season, WrestleMania season, Io Sky is not looking to slow down anytime soon. Bullet train quickness from Io Sky here tonight. Big win for our women's champion. Well, I sure do hope everybody live in attendance and watching at home is ready to get bouncy, because the young upstart, the young OG, Javon Evans, is in the building as he is in action here tonight against All Ego Ethan Page, who we'll see in just a few seconds make his way down to the ring, unfortunately. This match coming about after Ethan Page was kind of giving a little bit of disrespect to Javon Evans backstage earlier today. Page saying some not so nice things to Javon Evans, saying some discouraging things to Javon Evans, how he's so young in the game, how he needs to put on some muscle if he wants to make it here in WWE, and doing it all with a smile on his face. And well, that smile got permanently removed courtesy of Javon Evans, as I'm told. Javon Evans smacked him across the face. And Ethan Page obviously did not take too kindly to that. You can still see him kind of smiling right now, but I'm sure Ethan Page on the inside wants to murder this poor kid. But Ethan Page should know better than anybody not to underestimate. Is certainly one of them ones. He's one of those superstars that you got to watch out for in the coming years. And I'm not even just saying just the coming years, could start as soon as this year, 2026. Javon Evans could get a big win here tonight over Ethan Page, a man that went toe-to-toe with the Viper last week. And now Ethan Page still looking for his first official victory, given that match ended in a double countout. Some tells me that Ethan Page is not exactly like that was the outcome, but I'm sure that he's okay with being able to say that he didn't lose or defeat Randy Orton. But tonight he wants to have better success against Javon Evans, as now Javon sends Ethan Page to the apron here. Goes for a bicycle kick, but Javon right into a collar and elbow. Javon sidestepping the bicycle kick. Collar and elbow from both of these individuals. Ethan Page, as I said, trying to tell Javon Evans to put on some muscle, as Page uses his muscle to gain an advantage. Clean break that time, but there was a cheap shot at the end from Page. Kick to the midsection is now Javon Evans going out of the corner. Look out here. An arm drag right into a drop kick. That's how quickly Javon Evans can come at you with his offense. Goes for a cover. Page getting the shoulder out at 1. And now all of a sudden Javon is controlling the pace of this match. And I don't think Ethan Page likes that for 1 second. As look out. Javon Evans getting a little bouncy here with the Hurricane Rana. Assisting from the rope. Again, Ethan Page trying to slow it down here. That's the only way he really has an advantage in this thing. Is if he keeps the pace as something that he could actually deal with. And look at this roll-up attempt by Ethan Page. Rope break, though. Immediately called by the referee. Ethan Page now. Big strike to the face. Look at this combination by Page. Right into a Russian leg sweep. Beautifully executed by the over 20-year veteran in Ethan Page. And now all Eagle going off the top rope for an elbow drop. But Javon able to have it scouted and get out the way. And now goes for a roll-up attempt on Ethan Page. No, Page shifting his way, going for a pinfall attempt of his own. Javon goes for a super kick. Evans able to escape the punch by Ethan Page. Back and forth, these two are going with each other. And now look out, Ethan Page. Again, like I said, every time Javon tries to turn up the pace, tries to turn up the intensity here, Ethan Page shuts it down. Ground and pound from Ethan Page. Certainly getting a little more vicious here tonight. Javon now getting called up to his feet. And Ethan Page going off the top rope, but Javon Evans able to get a reversal that time. And now look at this. Javon Evans and Ethan Page engaging in a slugfest. Smacks to the face by Javon Evans, just like he did backstage earlier today. Ethan Page trying to come back here, but to no avail. As now Javon Evans, look out, gonna get the best of this exchange with an elbow strike right to the jaw. And now a big elbow right to the heart of Ethan Page, but wait a minute, Javon Evans caught off guard here. What the hell? This is a random Titantron. Here's some music in the background, but we're not entirely sure whose music it is. Doesn't sound too familiar. Now Javon Evans is throwing off his We Are. What the hell? That's Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints has Javon Evans on his shoulders. The referee's back is turned. A Rochambeau. The Rochambeau by Ricky Saints, who just appeared out of nowhere, planting Javon Evans. No, not like this. Not like this. Ethan Page squirms away with another victory on Monday Night Raw. We'll chalk that victory up to an assist from none other than Ricky Saints. Not sure if these two are affiliated or not, but Ethan Page better go backstage and thank Saints for the help, because without that, I'm not sure if Page gets this victory tonight. That is certainly a surprise to see Ricky Saints here on WWE, here on Monday Night Raw, to be more exact, and apparently at least helping Page out tonight. I don't know if his beef was with Javon or he was actually helping Ethan Page out. I guess we'll have to, figure out more of that in the weeks coming forward. But Ricky Saints just made his arrival here on Monday Night Raw. We're not entirely sure if he was even going to be an official roster member or not, but I mean that's a great talent to have on Monday Night Raw. Even though, I mean, obviously he's showing the worser side to him by taking out Javon Evans and being sneaky by coming from behind Javon Evans like that. But we can't forget to mention, how good Ricky Saints actually is. But speaking of people that are really good, we're joined by the tag team champions, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. best tag team on Monday Night Raw, if you ask me, and they have the titles to prove it. O'Reilly getting ready to have a one-on-one match with Dirty Dominic Mysterio. After last week, Kyle O'Reilly getting a submission victory against Dominic Mysterio to give the Undisputed Era the victory and the win in the 6-man tag team match against the Judgment Day. Obviously, Dominic Mysterio taking a lot of issue with Kyle O'Reilly humiliating him and submitting him last week. Mysterio took to social media, essentially calling it a fluke, essentially saying that Kyle O'Reilly got lucky, even though, I don't know, he is a submission specialist. Meanwhile, Dominic Mysterio was the one that personally asked for this match here tonight, if you believe it or not. And he claims that to get his revenge, he's going to make Kyle O'Reilly submit. I mean, come on, don't make me laugh so early on in the show, Dom. I don't care if you got Liv Morgan by your side or not. I don't know how plausible or possible it is to get Kyle O'Reilly to submit. This man is the violent artist. He's a submission-based wrestler, a technical wizard in that ring. And Dirty Dominic Mysterio, I mean, he usually needs to cheat to win, so there's really no comparison of the two, but I guess stranger things have happened. We'll see if Dominic Mysterio can actually live up to what he said he was going to do, let alone submit Kyle O'Reilly. Even if he can even get a win over Kyle O'Reilly, it would be very shocking. I'm not going to lie. I mean, just the experience factor alone, Kyle O'Reilly has levels and levels of experience over Dominic Mysterio, but we're not going to discredit Mysterio because, I mean, hey, he has honed his craft. He has gotten a lot better in the ring since when, you know, even his first match with Seth freaking Rollins all those years ago, or his first appearance in a ring helping out his father against Brock Lesnar. Mysterio has come a long way. A lot of people credit the Judgment Day with his growth, not only as a professional wrestler, but also just, you know, his ability to actually gain some form of an audience or gain the audience's attention. One of the most despised individuals on this entire roster is Dominic Mysterio. And it's reasons like that right there as to why, as he, I'm sure, was whispering to Liv Morgan as he was coming down to the ring to try and find an opening for him, as she just did just that. Now Mysterio goes on the attack here of the knee of Kyle O'Reilly. A little weird to see Dominic Mysterio doing some limb targeting, but he did say that he was going to try to make Kyle O'Reilly submit. But we'll see how well that fares. As Dominic Mysterio now driving the feet right into the shoulder blades of Kyle O'Reilly. And now going off the ropes with a double axe handle. Dom, look out. Goes for a tope. Kyle, though, with a knee strike, lifting the knee right into the jaw of Dominic Mysterio. Goes for the cover. Only gets a 1.5 that time. But Kyle right back on the attack here, as now he drives his elbows right into the shoulders of Dominic Mysterio. And now up and over. Beautiful Hurricane Rana by Kyle O'Reilly. We said Dominic Mysterio was kind of dipping out of his bag with limb targeting. We don't see Kyle O'Reilly hit too many Hurricane Ranas. So these two kind of matching each other's style right now. As Mysterio reeling on the ropes, but looks to come back here. No, Kyle O'Reilly able to withstand the punishment and come back with a lariat. Kyle now, we're going to stomp this kid's skull in right now with these kicks to the chest. Kyle, look out here. Oh, sending Dominic Mysterio not once, not twice, but 3 times with the arms hooked. Face first onto the mat. Goes for the cover, count of 1. Only gets a 1 count. Surprisingly, Dominic Mysterio showing just a tad bit of heart. probably the heart size of the Grinch, if you ask me. But needless to say, Kyle O'Reilly dumping him on his head with a backdrop driver. But Dom sweeps the legs, goes for a pinfall attempt. Not sure if a sweep of the leg is going to get the job done, but to each his own, I suppose. As Dominic Mysterio now has Kyle O'Reilly in a fireman's carry and just drops him. Drops Kyle. As now Kyle O'Reilly is in a bit of a bad way here as Dom just sent him reeling to the floor. And Mysterio is starting to feel himself. Maybe he's got some form of an idea that he has a shot in hell of actually getting this thing done here tonight and making Kyle O'Reilly submit. Meanwhile, Roderick Strong this time providing a distraction. If Liv Morgan can do it, why not Roderick Strong? I guess that's the ideology of Strong apparently. As Kyle O'Reilly goes off the top rope with a huge splash and now into a dragon sleeper. Dominic Mysterio raising those knees up, and now look at this. Caught Kyle O'Reilly with the Michinoku driver. The Michinoku driver connects to the center of the ring. Holding his own in this match. Kyle O'Reilly now, though, going to go for a ride here. Mysterio plants him with a sit-out powerbomb. Or just a regular sit-down powerbomb, I suppose. But Mysterio now going to the top rope. Could be going for a frog splash. Indeed he was. No water in the pool. As now Kyle O'Reilly, look out here. Look at this combination striking. How do you match it? Dominic Mysterio is not a very good striker. So Kyle O'Reilly obviously is going to have that over him 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times out of 10 if you ask me. And now Kyle grabs the arm and the leg, which have both been worked over. And now Mysterio's trying to fight out here, but he has no choice but to submit for a second straight week. Well, Kyle O'Reilly might have gotten the win, but Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Wait, Finn Balor took out Roderick Strong, and now Mysterio looking to get the last laugh here. He's got a chair, for Christ's sake. He's going to take this man. Kyle O'Reilly out there. He is. Adam Cole making the save for his friend, for his tag team partner, his stablemate Kyle O'Reilly chasing off Mysterio and Balor, who had some devious intentions in mind with that steel chair. Well, thank God for Adam Cole saving his buddy Kyle O'Reilly from what was going to be, obviously a heinous beatdown at the hands of Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor, but also, could be potentially career-threatening. Whatever Dominic Mysterio and Balor were going to do with that steel chair, Cole has seen enough of the antics by Judgment Day. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to shift focus because we have an incredible match coming up, a high-stakes match in the tag team division, the women's tag team division, as the women's tag team championships are on the line. Lyra Valkyria and Bayley taking on Team 2001, the makeshift tag team, if you will, of Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. Probably not your first, second, or third choice as two women that would probably tag team together. But here we are. Obviously Bayley is seen as a veteran in that locker room. She is indeed the role model. And women like Lyra Valkyria, I'm sure, have looked up to Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, those type, Becky Lynch, of course. So I'm sure Lyra Valkyria finds a lot of goodness in Bayley and respects her as a competitor, respects her as a tag team partner, and they've done good enough to earn a handful of victories and earn themselves a championship opportunity here tonight. Our Bayley and Valkyria are going to be walking out the new women's tag team champions in the second week of the brand new year here on JPG channel. That is kind of yet to be determined. They're going to have some very prime competition, and Perez and Jade, two women that have held their championships for their second title run since SummerSlam. They've essentially been the tag team champions for the better part of 2025, as a matter of fact, their first championship victory being at WrestleMania, almost an upset victory. That's kind of how we saw it at the time against Asuka and Io Sky. If you put them against Asuka and Io Sky today instead of Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, I don't know if I would call it an upset. That's how good Perez and Jade have been and have made themselves turn into as a tag team since originally becoming tag team champions. They would lose those belts to the Banks Corporation's tag team known as Kiana James and Brianna Brandy. They lost it in multi-women action, so you couldn't really ever say that they officially lost it in terms of them being pinned. Meanwhile, at SummerSlam, they would get those championships back off of Banks Corporation, and they've been holding those titles ever since. But will they hold on to those championships coming into the new year? That is kind of what the large issue and large question at hand is. Could be arguably Perez and Jade's toughest defense yet, given the competition that they're about to see firsthand. Lyra Valkyria is touted as the future, and with good reason. This woman, whether she becomes tag team champion tonight or not, she is a future multi-time women's champion, whether that's the Intercontinental Championship, the Women's World Championship, whatever title she wants. Lyra Valkyria will indeed eventually get to that level. Bayley has been at that level. As a matter of fact, she's been a women's tag team champion before with her former teammate Sasha Banks of the Boston Hug Connection. As we saw the graphic go up, the women's tag team championships up for grabs. That is what is at stake here tonight. Lyra and Bayley, and then the champs Perez and Jade getting ready to duke it out for the championships. What a match we got. And it isn't even the main event of the show. That's the crazy part. Second week of Monday Night Raw. Championships up for grabs. Boston's in for a treat. We see Lyra Valkyria and Bayley kind of representing Boston a little bit tonight with the green. Obviously an iconic city color for Boston, Massachusetts. Meanwhile, Jade and Perez rocking some purple here tonight. I guess if I'm going to compare that to sports, it'd be like the Lakers versus the Celtics, which is definitely a sports rivalry, so there's a little bit of continuity between there. But meanwhile, Cora Jade and Lyra Valkyria starting things off kind of hot and heavy here. Look at this. Lyra Valkyria sending Cora Jade over with an exploder. Jade was kind of starting that thing off aggressively, smashing Lyra Valkyria's head, grabbing a handful of hair, I believe, as well, and also going for almost a cheap victory with her feet on the rope. I don't know if Roxanne Perez exactly agrees with that strategy. These two ladies have had a pretty good reputation of winning their matches, good, clean, old-fashioned ways. Maybe Cora Jade feels the pressure of this high-stakes scenario, being in the ring with two skilled competitors like Lyra and Bayley. Like I said, maybe that's getting to her head just a tad bit. Meanwhile, here comes Roxanne Perez in the fray, but Lyra Valkyria sends her over with a Japanese arm drag. As now Roxanne Perez grabs a hold of the arm, though. Lyra getting thrown to the mat. Now the Prodigy going to strut her stuff here. Big strike to the arm of Lyra Valkyria. Big strike to the face from Lyra. Trying to get back into this thing, but Cora Jade actually providing a little bit of a distraction. But Lyra able to capitalize and drop the inverted DDT after those sharp knees right to the almost the back of the neck of Perez. And now she sends her off the ropes with another arm drag that time. Lyra got Roxanne Perez in a beautiful Northern Lights with the bridge combination. Perez and Jade trying to find fresh tags in this one. Look at this. A Luthez press from Cora Jade. Getting herself some momentum. Lyra with a kick out though. There's now Cora Jade sending Lyra Valkyria to the outside. And now the attack has begun on the arm for Cora Jade. Look out. Oh, big senton right on the outside. A crossbody from Lyra Valkyria, though, does the work for her. Sending Cora Jade back into the ring. Trying to regroup, reset her strategy here is Lyra Valkyria. Now she gets Bayley in this match. Role model getting her first taste of action against Cora Jade. Off the ropes goes Jade. Beautiful arm drag by Bayley, showing Lyra Valkyria how it's done. Although I would say they were almost in synergy in terms of style points. There's now Cora Jade locking up with Bayley. Bayley though, trying to fight out of the fireman's carry position by driving some elbows right to the jaw. Now look out here. Oh! Smashing the knee of Cora Jade right into a dragon screw. Beautiful execution by Bayley. It's been a long time since Bayley has held any championship gold here in Universe Mode. It might be even longer if Cora Jade gets this right here. Nice pinfall attempt by Jade that time. Trying to tie Bayley up. And now look out, Bayley going tit for tat here with the exact same pinfall combination that time. Cora Jade now trying to get a breather on the ropes. But Bayley not going to warrant it. Cora Jade is in for some trouble. Bayley shooting out like a cannon with that Hurricane Rana. You know, perhaps even stating that the fact that Bayley, it's been so long since she's held championship gold, that is the driven motivation that she has here tonight to get the job done. She wants that championship gold feeling back. There was a time that Bayley was on top of the world in the WWE, being the SmackDown Women's Champion and a Women's Tag Team Champion all at the same time. Not to say that she might get up that level this year, but she could start the year off on a fresh note and a good note by winning the Women's Tag Team Championships, but can't do that if there's a count out. Lyra Valkyria might want to try and get herself back in the ring to break it. Cora Jade is the one that has the champion's advantage if she should use it, but Lyra able to break the count. Would have been absolutely catastrophic if this match ended in a count out, not only because I want to see all four of these ladies go, but it's a championship match. I mean, that just really sucks all the air out of the crowd here tonight in Boston if it ended like that, but not on Lyra's watch as she hits a beautiful enziguri, just clipping the back of the neck of Cora. Goes for the cover, only a count of 2. Now Lyra bringing Cora Jade over with a snap mirror off the ropes, goes for a drop kick. Cora Jade getting out of harm's way there. Jade now could have found a moment that she actually desperately needed. Now getting Roxanne Perez back into this thing. Give herself a little bit of a breather as Perez goes off the top rope with a huge flying shoulder tackle. I don't think Perez is done taking to the skies just yet. She's calling Valkyria up to her feet. And now the Prodigy takes to the skies with a meteor that cleared nearly half the ring. Lyra getting the shoulder out, trying to get the tag to Bayley, but Roxanne Perez putting some distance in between the two, isolating her opponent here tonight. That just proves how good Jade and Perez have become as their reign as Women's Tag Team Champions. Doing things like isolating the ring and dissecting the ring, whatever you want to call it. Isolating their opponent, dissecting the ring is mainly what I was trying to get at. That's veteran mentality in tag team. terms. As now look at this, a sit-out DDT by Roxanne Perez. Almost got the job done. Lyra able to get the shoulder out. Perez now again getting Jade back into this. Now we're seeing fresh tags. Again, another sign of a veteran tag team. Although they're... Jade might have felt a little inspired by Perez taking to the sky. She goes off the top rope now. Big splash. Lyra, there's a lot of damage that had been dealt to Valkyria in just the last few moments, let alone the entire match. But Lyra is trying to bounce back here. Beautiful Hurricane Rana, then a drop kick to the face of Perez. Now it's Lyra going to the top rope. Everybody flies. Lyra Valkyria with a frog splash. 1, 2. Oh, I thought that was going to be it. I could almost hear myself saying, and knew. But Cora Jade getting the shoulder out. And now a big DDT by Lyra Valkyria. Trying to send Cora Jade up, I can say, probably into the corner of her and Bayley's. Lyra has been in this match for a pretty decent time as now the role model gets back into the thing. And a big knee strike right to the face. Bayley now. And Cora Jade kind of jockeying her position here. Beautiful arm drag by Bayley. And now off the ropes goes Bayley. No! Went for the elbow. Cora stepping out. And went for a clothesline. Did not get all of it. Bayley, though, sending her into the turnbuckle. As now Bayley, oh, look out here. Trapping her in that second rope. Oh, dropping the knees. Eat your heart out, Sasha Banks, even though... I mean, obviously Bayley and Sasha had their issues this past year, rekindling their old rivalry at the start of 2025. But obviously there's a little bit of soft spot still for Banks somewhere in Bayley. As now look at this backdrop driver connects to Cora Jade. Bayley now, she's going top rope. She's not done there just yet. This is vintage Bayley with that role model elbow off the top. Goes for the cover. Perez has to break it. I don't think Cora Jade would have gotten the kick out that time. Perez had to break the count. Bayley now kick to the midsection. Forearm strike, kick to the midsection. And now a second time dropping Cora Jade with a second backdrop driver, this time in the center of the ring. Cora Jade driving the elbow right to the face. Bayley getting thrown into the corner of the champions. As now Cora Jade, look out here, wheelbarrowing Bayley up into a leg drop off the top rope by Perez. Goes for the cover. 1, almost got a 2 count, but Lyra actually broke it that time. And now it's Lyra wins a Guri right to the face of Perez. This match starting to really break down here. Goes for a moonsault. Perez able to escape. But the distraction allowing Bayley to get a rose plant. Rose plant. Almost center of the ring. Away from the ropes at least. New champs, no. Perez getting the shoulder out. This match, like I said, starting to spill out just a tad bit. The referee needs to retain order here. Bayley now setting Perez. This time it's for Roxanne Perez that's being trapped in that second ropes as Bayley delivers the knees once more. And look at this, right into an Indian deathlock by Bayley. She's showing Perez and Jade a thing or two about professional wrestling tonight, that's for sure. Getting a 101 from Professor Bayley. As now Roxy's trying to put Bayley back in the corner of Cora Jade. Like I said, those fresh tags have proven to be a very good strategy and very... very positive outcome for Perez and Jade, not only in this match, but throughout their entire tag team runs. Now look at this, Bayley. Oh, Jade was playing in Bayley's face a little bit. I don't think Bayley appreciated it. She just slammed her hip first onto the hardest part of the ring, known as the apron. Now Roxanne Perez, look out here. Wheelbarrow face buster connects. That was a beautiful execution by the Prodigy Perez. You know, I was giving Lyra Valkyria her flowers before this match began. Roxanne Perez is another one of those competitors that I do see as one of the future of this business. Roxanne goes for a drop kick. Bayley off the ropes now. Look out here. Back and forth these two are going. Chop to the chest. Cutting Bayley off right on her tracks. Now look, goes for a powerbomb. Bayley slipping through with a sunset flip reversal into a pinfall. Perez has to get the shoulder out here as now Bayley double axe handle to the chest. Sending Perez into the corner. Oh, shoulders right into the midsection and not even wasting a second delivering a knee right to the face. What is Bayley's next step here? As now Roxy could be in for a lot of trouble here. Bayley is looking to turn back the clock. We haven't seen her hit a move like that since her NXT days. Bayley with a baseball slide drop kick to Roxanne Perez on the outside. You know, Bayley, she has to be motivated as all hell to walk out with those women's tag team championships. Like I said, it's just that mentality that it's been so long since she's been champion. She delivers a Bayley to belly, but Cora Jade breaking the count, but also accidentally taking the referee out in the process. Meanwhile, Lyra Valkyria getting back into this one. Big spin kick right to the face. Lyra takes care of Cora Jade, but our referee is incapacitated for the moment. Lyra calling Perez up to her feet. Try to smack her right in the face, but Perez reversing. Sit out DDT for the second time. Perez hits the sit out DDT on Lyra Valkyria once more. And I believe she's calling for the end here with the Pop Rocks. Driving Lyra Valkyria's shoulders to the mat with the Pop Rocks. And now look out. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. The referee obviously playing a little favor. It's kind of counting a little slow there after Cora Jade accidentally, I guess we will say in air quotes, knocked out our official. Lyra now sending Perez into the corner, but Perez gets the elbow to the face and now tags in Cora Jade once more. Now it's Lyra Valkyria. Look out. Got caught lacking a little bit. Cora Jade, you gotta be kidding me. Just delivered Lyra's own finishing maneuver to her, the Nightwing. And how disrespectful it would have been if she actually got the win there. A huge smack to the face. It would have been to Lyra Valkyria to lose with her own finishing maneuver. And I believe Cora Jade knows that as she hits a running clothesline and sends Bayley out to the floor. Big Enziguri right to the face. Now it's Cora Jade starting to rock and roll here. Goes off the ropes again. Big strike to the face. And now Lyra, nice reversal that time. Tries to send Cora Jade into the turnbuckle. These two going back and forth during the later stages of this match. Cora Jade now sending Lyra Valkyria into the turnbuckle. Big smack to the chest and a kick to the midsection. As now Cora Jade going off the ropes this time. Oh, driving some knees right into the face of Lyra Valkyria. That was hard to watch right there. I think that might have even busted open Lyra Valkyria if I'm not mistaken. I think I see a bit of blood on the forehead after that knee strike. Cora Jade again going off the top rope for a splash. Bayley, though, able to get the tag this time. And now here comes the role model in the ring with Cora Jade. Caught her off guard with the Rose Plant. But look out, Perez. Perez trying to make the save. Count of 1, 2. Oh my God, that was so close. If Perez was a second later, Bayley and Lyra would have been walking out with those championships. But I don't think it's going to matter because Bayley is looking to double up. Bayley's looking to double up here. She takes out Perez, hits the Rose Plant this time. Bayley hits the Rose Plant. Count of 1, count of 2. No, Jade just getting the shoulder out. A second Rose Plant, not enough to put away Jade. And this time she didn't even need Perez to help her make the save. That is a testament to the resiliency of Cora Jade, able to kick out of a second rose plant, but it all might be all but elementary, because here's the real thing. The Nightwing from Lyra Valkyria. And with that, we have new women's tag team champions indeed. Lyra Valkyria and Bayley picking up the win. Congratulations to what we claimed was a makeshift tag team at the beginning of this, but truly turned out to work out like bread and butter between Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Sometimes you just go with the feeling. Sometimes you just go with what feels right. And what felt right is these two women coming together to become your new women's tag team champions heading in to 2026. Again, congratulations. Main event time here in Boston as the prize fighter Kevin Owens is joining us for the second week in a row with a main event spotlight. KO, of course, making his return back to in-ring action after almost a full year, answering CM Punk's open challenge last week. And while he did look very, very impressive against our WWE champion, Owens was unable to get the job done, and Punk able to come away with victory moments before, obviously, what we learned at the start of the show tonight, moments before Samoa Joe would make his return to the ring, return to WWE, and lay out CM Punk, choke him out. And speaking of Joe and Punk, I guess we have a small bit of an update. Punk is cleared for in-ring competition, and I have learned that, obviously, Punk, incensed, will do anything to get his hands on Samoa Joe. Joe has responded, basically saying that, you know, Punk is going to have to jump through a few hoops if he wants to get to Samoa Joe next week here on Monday Night Raw. Punk is going to face an opponent of Samoa Joe's choosing. And I mean, I don't know. Samoa Joe, he only hangs out with people that he likes to can relate to or associate himself with. So something tells me that whoever Samoa Joe picks is going to be one bad dude. CM Punk might be in for a fight of his life next week. And that's with almost bruised ribs, as a matter of fact, because Samoa Joe did lay Punk out with a powerbomb on the barricade to start tonight's show. And now CM Punk has to go wrestle next week and go into a match basically blinded, not knowing his opponent, for almost a second week in the 3 weeks of 2026. Obviously, CM Punk, like I said last week, throwing an open challenge to start the year off. Kevin Owens would answer, and what a brutal war that was between Punk and Owens. And now, next week, Punk again will not know his opponent. But that's next week. This is our main event this week. McIntyre, Owens. Let's ring the damn bell. KO now locking up with McIntyre. There's a feeling out process. Early goings. Kevin Owens sending McIntyre into the corner, trying to get a clean break, but McIntyre actually gets a cheap shot in there. Bit shadiness by McIntyre. This match kind of coming about by McIntyre basically blaming Kevin Owens for trying to jump the line because he answered Punk's open challenge. Obviously, McIntyre still a little bit butthurt that he lost to Punk back at WrestlePalooza. And I don't know, it's like his 100th chance to walk away with the championship, again foiled. As now McIntyre again locking up with Kevin Owens. This time trying to get a clean break is our referee, but now it's KO with a cheap shot. Whatever McIntyre does, Kevin Owens can do twice as good. That's what he's telling him. For a third time, these two lock up. Now I guess we get that clean break that we were hoping for, but Kevin Owens delivering a kick to the midsection. There's now McIntyre and Kevin Owens slugging it out here. McIntyre, like I said, blaming Kevin Owens for trying to jump the line. KO is going to show him exactly where the line starts. And it starts with the prize fighter. As look out, big splash to Drew McIntyre. Goes for the cover, only gets a count of 1. KO in the driver's seat momentarily here. A slap to the chest, and now coming through. Oh, look at this. Kevin Owens, look out. Oh my God, they're going to drop Drew McIntyre right on his neck. Drops McIntyre right on his neck, and now going in for the cover is Owens. Goes for the, only gets a 1 count though. KO now. Look out here. Big strikes to the, I mean, he's throwing some absolute haymakers throughout this match. As now McIntyre sending Kevin Owens off the ropes here. They're not even off the ropes, but reeling onto the ropes. Kevin Owens trying to come back into this one. Super kick right into a senton. Connects big time on McIntyre. Another 1 count though. Nothing more than a 1 count out of both of these individuals so far. McIntyre delivering a huge headbutt right to the back. Headbutt to the back is now McIntyre. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. McIntyre is already going to be going for the kill this early on in the match. Owens, look out. A Claymore strike to the face. The Claymore hit flush. Are we in for a squash match in our main event? No. Kevin Owens getting a shoulder out. McIntyre absolutely incensed at this point. Going off the top rope. But when you're a mad man like McIntyre, you might not be able to afford to make too many mistakes, as Kevin Owens just proved right there. And now KO calling McIntyre up to his feet. The Claymore was survived by Kevin Owens, going over the top rope now. Man, the resiliency of Kevin Owens ever since coming back is it cannot be overshadowed here. It took CM Punk everything, including a Pepsi plunge, to get the job done against KO last week. This time he survives a Claymore as he goes for a clothesline, but McIntyre able to duck out. And now air raid siren from McIntyre, otherwise known as the White Noise if you're McIntyre, because he always loves to give a good shout out to his good friend Sheamus when he's hitting that. As McIntyre now taking a moment to gloat to the audience. KO's back up on his feet. This has been certainly a match of 2 different stories in this one. Kevin Owens has gone the striking route, almost just trying to wound McIntyre with chops and punches and just physicality. Meanwhile, McIntyre has basically been just trying to take his opportunities when he can. Kevin Owens sending McIntyre back down to the ground. Referee would, I'm sure, love for these guys to keep it in the ring, but when you got 2 explosive personalities like Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre meeting in the main event, it's very hard to keep order. As now again a super kick lands. Kevin Owens sending McIntyre back into the ring. KO now. Look out here. No, McIntyre getting the boot up. Goes for a neck breaker, I believe, but Kevin Owens just slamming him right down to the mat. And now look out. Kevin Owens with a pop-up powerbomb. The pop-up powerbomb connects, only a count of 1. But no. Oh, now the stunner. The stunner out of nowhere. Surely that's it. 2. No. KO survived the Claymore. McIntyre survived the pop-up powerbomb and the stunner. I don't think McIntyre's surviving this. Kevin Owens, he was going for this on CM Punk last week. Punk was able to sidestep it. McIntyre might not have such luck. Kevin Owens delivering the apron powerbomb. And these people, the sickos and individuals that they are, they love to see it. Kevin Owens just laid McIntyre out with the powerbomb right on the apron. And now Kevin Owens sending McIntyre back in the ring. You could call it one. KO. I don't know why he's not going for the pinfall, though. Now it's Kevin kind of gloating to the crowd. I definitely don't agree with that strategy, as McIntyre is now obviously going to take advantage of Kevin Owens' mistake that time, but look at this. Again, the physicality on Kevin Owens, striking away at McIntyre. What a main event we have had between these two. McIntyre and Owens slugging back and forth. Here comes Kevin Owens back in the fight, though. McIntyre real on the ropes. What the hell? That's Konosuke Takeshita. What the hell is Takeshita doing out here? He just laid out Kevin Owens and just threw this match. McIntyre doesn't know what the hell is going on. Konosuke Takeshita just threw this match out and laid Kevin Owens out in the process. Konosuke Takeshita is now putting a beat down on Kevin Owens. You've got to be kidding me here. Oh, Konosuke Takeshita just beating the crap out of Kevin Owens. What the hell is Takeshita's problem with our prize fighter? And now, wait a minute, Konosuke Takeshita taking Owens for a ride with the German suplex. A deadlift German suplex. Kevin Owens has already been in a grueling war with Drew McIntyre, and now Konosuke Takeshita's out here just absolutely destroying this poor man. I mean, what a horrible 2 weeks Kevin Owens has had. Takeshita, oh, he just bloodied up Kevin Owens right then and right there. Takeshita just bloodied up Kevin Owens, and now he's got him in a camel's clutch for some reason as Kevin Owens is trying to fight for air here. Konosuke Takeshita is just choking Kevin Owens out. Owens, though, is trying to fight back as he trips the leg of Takeshita. KO now, running off the ropes. There goes a pop-up powerbomb for you. Takeshita now. What the hell's he got playing here? No. Takeshita, powerbomb, final flash. Knee combo, the Kamigoye knee strike. This is getting hard to watch, folks. Takeshita is absolutely choking this man out with every last bit of fiber in his being. Now, wait a minute. Let's cast our minds over here to the ramp. McIntyre is now being attacked. That's Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher, the protostar, is attacking Drew McIntyre just a few moments after Konosuke Takeshita attacked Owens. What the hell is this all about? Kyle Fletcher annihilating McIntyre. And wait a minute. Oh, what the? You gotta be kidding me. That is Seth freaking Rollins back here on Monday nights. We haven't seen Seth Rollins on Monday nights in some amount of years. He's a SmackDown superstar, or I thought that he was. Oh, no, my God, a stomp on the apron. Or excuse me, the ramp. You'd have to excuse me for being a little bit taken aback right now. Rollins and Fletcher are now making their way down to ringside after laying out Drew McIntyre. Rollins is supposed to be a SmackDown guy. And now Rollins is back in the ring. Obviously, Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita playing defense, making sure that nobody can get into this ring to stop what Rollins is about to do. You have got to be kidding me. A stomp in the center of the ring. Rollins just planted Owens and McIntyre to make a huge statement to close our show, but we are left with more questions than answers.